But this brings us to the big lead for today.
Sharing of biased and
False news has become all too common on social media.
More alarming, some media outlets simply aren't true without checking facts first. Unfortunately, some members of the media use their platforms to push their own personal bias and agenda to control exactly what people think. And this is extremely dangerous to our democracy.
This is extremely dangerous to our democracy.
Before World War I happened, before anyone knew the Great War was about to start, they did not know that the death of Franz Ferdinand was the catalyst. The reason I say that is no one understands how society's actions result in outcomes they've never expected. Franz Ferdinand's assassination was the straw that broke the camel's back. Same thing with Bleeding Kansas for the Civil War. It was the point of no return. It was the crossing of the Rubicon. There it comes up again, huh? What happened in Russia on August 20th might be the precursor, and we just don't know it yet. Alexander Dugin is a Russian political figure. He has been described as Putin's brain. He is a political philosopher, analyst, and strategist. No, you can think of him as this regime's Rasputin. On August 20th, a car bomb exploded, killing Alexander's daughter, Darya Dugin. Reuters writes, daughter of Russian ideologue killed in suspected car bomb attack. The daughter of an ultra-nationalist Russian ideologue who advocates Russia's absorbing Ukraine was killed in a suspected car bomb attack outside of Moscow, Russian state investigators said on Sunday. Darya Dugin, daughter of prominent ideologue Alexander Dugin, was killed on Saturday evening after a suspected explosion device blew up in the Toyota Land Cruiser she was driving, investigators said. The Russian foreign minister speculated that Ukraine might have been behind the attack. Ukraine denied any involvement. Well, not good. This is no longer a skirmish of border lines. When attempted assassinations of political figures start occurring, we have entered into a new theater of war. Look at this. So here's a thread that was posted by Roman M. And here's the video of the situation that happened in Russia. So what it looks like here is that's Alexander, and where they have it blurred out, I believe that's his daughter on the floor right there. That's her car. Look at that. Jesus, dude. Man. So if we scroll up here, here's another video from another side. Look at that. Jesus, dude. And this is the car. Fuck, man. After they put the flames out. Man. There's another video from the other side. Man. That's scary. So people are saying that the bomb was intended to kill Alexander Dugin. Ukraine denies involvement. Of course they do. But when the head of the presidential administration tweets a broad threat just hours before the car bombing, it's difficult not to suspect them. So, Russians with attitude tweeted, today, the head of the presidential administration in Ukraine, Andrei Yarmak, said that, quote, our task is to make sure that not only the current generation of Russians, but their children and grandchildren will pay. 8 hours later, Alexander Dugin's daughter, Darya, was killed. Jesus. Coincidence? Maybe. I don't know. So what I do know is this is happening. China to join Russian military exercises as U.S. rivals deepen ties. We have pushed Russia into China's arms. We are creating an Axis alliance between China and Russia, and people are going to have to choose sides at some point. And Africa knows this. African leaders quick to address U.S.-China tensions over Taiwan. A spike in tensions between China and the United States over Taiwan has not gone unnoticed in Africa and has prompted a response that underscores the continent's tilt towards Beijing. The U.S. announced trade talks with Taiwan on Thursday following U.S. congressional delegations' visits earlier this week that came on the heels of a controversial trip to the self-governing island by U.S. House Speaker Nancy Pelosi. Washington's recent interaction with Taipei have infuriated Beijing, leading to China's military drills in the seas around the island. Most countries in Africa have sided with China. During Pelosi's visits, officials from several African countries condemned the U.S. and publicly supported China. The government of Eritrea deployed Pelosi's visit as reckless continuation of U.S. policies marked by flaws and follies. Zimbabwe's ruling ZANU-PF party also attacked the U.S. for aggressive conduct following Pelosi's visit with spokesman Chris Mustard, I don't even know how to say his last name, I'm going to try, saying, "It is a cardinal postulate of the international diplomacy that there is a one China, and Taiwan is an integral part of the mainland China." The foreign minister of the Republic of Congo, meanwhile, expressed firm support for the one China policy. China's state media were quick to publicize such support from African governments, with an article in the China Daily headlined, "African Sea through U.S. ploy in Pelosi visit." Jesus. We are creating an Axis alliance, guys. And I'm not sure if it's on purpose because I find it difficult imagining Biden as a person playing 4D chess. Tensions are increasing. They are so high that Pink Floyd's Roger Waters is speaking out about it, and his opinion of the United States is unfavorable. So let's give that a watch.
I remember the last tour. Of course, I came and watched. Very much, about Trump. And in the current show, you've got a montage of war criminals, according to you, and a picture apparently of President Biden on the screen, and it says, "Just getting started." What's that all about?
President Joe Biden?
Yeah.
Well, he's fueling the fire in the Ukraine for a start. That is a huge crime. Why won't the United States of America encourage Zelensky, or whatever his name is, the president, to negotiate and to explain why, when he stood on the platform of ratifying the Minsk agreements, which he did when he was elected by 73% of the Ukrainian population that was left able to vote. After that, somebody either whispered in his ear or he completely changed his mind about making peace in the Donbass and about solidifying the Minsk agreements and making peace with their Russian neighbors and obviating the need for this horrendous war that's killing.
You're blaming.
We don't know how many Ukrainians.
But you're blaming the party that got invaded. Come on, you've got it reversed.
That's any war. When did it start? What you need to do is look at the history, and you can say, well, it started on this day. You could say it started in 2008. Okay, this war is basically about the action and reaction of NATO pushing right up to the Russian border, which they promised they wouldn't do when Gorbachev negotiated the withdrawal of the USSR from the whole of Eastern Europe. He said, we will do this on one condition, that you don't come one inch
that's what
closer
people don't
to
understand,
the Russian
man,
border than the
is
eastern
we promised NATO would not expand.
And
all we did
if I may
from that
you,
time is expand NATO closer and
as
closer
an
to
American,
Russia's border.
Agreed to that.
It's fucking insane.
Sure.
I understand why they're mad.
When you say this, then I have to say, what about our role as liberators? You of all people.
You have no role as liberators.
World War II. World War II.
You got into World War II because
Come on.
Pearl Harbor. Pearl Harbor. You were completely isolationist until that sad, that devastating,
I would argue we were
day
always going to get in, and that pushed us in. But thank God the United States got in. right? You
Well,
lost your father in World War II. Thank God
Well,
the
yeah,
United
thank you,
States.
God, but
right?
thank God the Russians had already won the bloody war almost
Yeah.
by then. Don't forget, 23 million Russians died.
Yeah, not many people know that.
Protecting you
They were
and me
already
from
kicking
the
the fucking
Nazi
shit out of
Hey,
not
and you
the
would
Nazis.
think the Russians would have
by the
learned
time
their
we
lesson
were-
from
the war was almost
and
ended.
wouldn't have invaded Ukraine.
Well, you,
Fair?
with all your reading, I would suggest to you, Michael, that you go away and read a bit more and then try and figure out what the United States would do if the Chinese were putting nuclear-armed missiles into Mexico and Canada.
Yeah?
The Chinese are too busy encircling Taiwan as we speak. Okay?
They're not encircling Taiwan. Taiwan is part of China. And that's been absolutely accepted by the whole of the international community since 1948. And if you don't know that, you're not reading enough. Go and read about it.
Okay. Did we solve anything here
This
today?
is, no, well, yeah, we did. Well, I mean, no, we didn't.
I mean,
Because you're believing your propaganda, your side's propaganda.
You're defining
but
it as
Taiwan,
propaganda.
you can't have a conversation about human rights, and you can't have a conversation about Taiwan without actually doing the reading.
Roger, if you're having a conversation about human rights, at the top of the list of offenders are the Chinese. Why is it always the Western
It's at
world?
the top of
Why-
your list.
Why is it
the
always
Chinese
the Western
didn't
world?
invade Iraq and kill 1 million people in 2003. In fact, as far as I can recall, hang on a minute, who have
about the
the
Uyghurs?
Chinese invaded and murdered, slaughtered? In
Their
the-
own. Their own.
Bollocks.
Okay.
That's
Bollocks.
absolute nonsense. Complete nonsense. You should go away and read, but read some proper.
Hey, my
literature.
problem is I spend too much time reading your liner notes, okay?
Is this where we're at? Is this where we're at? That we're asking for an opinion of a musician on how to solve these problems? Why is Roger Waters on CNN talking about what's happening in Ukraine and Taiwan? Fucking Jesus. So I don't agree with what Rogers was saying about Taiwan, but he has a point. We are not liberators, and we have to stop thinking of ourselves like that. Our actions are creating an alliance against us, and I don't know if it's fixable. We will see what comes of the assassination attempt on Dugin. I would like to say nothing will come of it, and it's just casualties of tension, but with how highly he is held, I don't see Russia taking this lightly. So that ends the big lead for today.
The sharing of biased and
False news has become all too common on social media.
Without checking facts first. Unfortunately, some members of the media use their platforms to push their own personal bias and agenda to control exactly what people think. And this is extremely dangerous to our democracy.
This is extremely dangerous to our democracy.